Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Ozcast.
Everybody, and welcome to Booze Team Men, the first episode. Andy Martin, Jared Walsh, Matty Burgess. You may have heard of us from the Best Team Men podcast.
I hope so.
Well, we're starting a new chapter, an additional chapter to our story of this monumental journey that we're calling podcasting.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
Andy started sending some messages around because we've got a text message group where some random stuff goes around. Andy, I reckon you only understand half of it because there's a bit of sports chat in there.
Bit of sports in there.
And
I sit back and relax for that.
If you put your phone down and come back an hour later, you miss out. And I think Andy said, I've got an idea, because we've got Shifty Lizard are one of the major sponsors of Best Team Men. We'll get to Con and Lena from Brighton Trophy in a second, because that was just something has happened today already. But this is a good opportunity where it's like a shortened podcast, kind of special edition one for our key listeners, which is probably about 5 or 6, but that's okay, where we get to have a drink while we do it.
Yeah, and every episode is a different drink, so we can talk about anything and also give a bit of a review of the beverage that we're taking.
Yeah.
And then
I think this one started. Good morning, Best Team Men.
yeah.
We started talking.
Oh, that's a piss.
That's a fart.
It's actually anniversary, because that night was 4 weeks ago, and I'm doing it again tonight.
Yes. I expect voice memos in the group.
This is awesome. So that means you're going to get 2 Best Team Men podcasts each week, but the Booze Team Men is kind of like a little bit of a side podcast. So we should say at the start of it, there's a chance there'll be more adult kind of things and a few more swears.
I don't know if you can get any further than what we go through with the Best Team Men, but you know what I'm saying.
That's true, but we do have kind of reputations to uphold. So let's actually start now.
Okay.
What talk us through what's going on here, Matty, because you saw Shifty Lizard today and you've brought something.
Yeah, went and saw Lee, and obviously he was going to try and come on, but because we're doing it at the time we are, he wasn't available, so we're going to set a date down the track in which he'll actually come in.
Yep.
So I went and saw him, and I spoke to him during the week and said, look, we're doing this, we need some beers, I'll come buy some. And he said, no. He goes, I'll give them to you.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's what I was hoping you'd say. And
don't you love that sometimes?
Yeah.
You used to get a message from someone asking for concert tickets. Like, g'day, mate. Hope all is well with the family.
Haven't spoken to you in 10 years.
Yeah. You wondering if you got any Stereosonic tickets? I mean, happy to pay, because you want to write back.
Yeah.
Or if you're happy to pay, go and fucking
Buy
ticket
them.
mate.
Or you go as far to get face to face with them. You get your wallet out. It's actually empty, but you're getting your wallet out to show them that you're willing to pay, but you're not, because there's nothing in there.
Yeah.
so that's how it went today. Went up there and Lee said, no, we'll give them to you. So I thought, that's great.
Well, I think a great idea is we can, this whole podcasting thing doesn't have to be in a studio as well. We can go down and see him and hang out at the brewery and record down there.
That's
I think
right.
That'd be easier for Lee, I guess.
Yeah, I would say so, yeah. And for me, we live not that far away from
That's
it.
true.
So
We could all stay at your place.
That's
Well,
Jared will already be there. So I was expecting to walk away with a 6-pack.
Yeah.
2 each. And I've come away with a carton.
Oh, baby!
This is great. Their label looks amazing too.
Yeah.
So if you haven't been to Wollonga, that's where Shifty Lizard is located. It's a really small kind of boutique-y kind of brewery, but it's nice. Once you go in there, there's an actual lizard in there too.
Yeah, there is. And I've been there a couple of times, and I didn't know there was a lizard until you put it up on your story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a real lizard.
It's real. It moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually thought it was one of my ex-girlfriends, to be honest. I was like, she's there. Oh, that's where she works now. No,
she was
it's just
that
a lizard.
Yeah.
So first up, we're gonna get on this. It's called the Session Ale.
Yeah, I've got to say the label is looking very Ren and Stimpy / Simpsons.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, there's like
Donut on
the
it.
donut, definitely. And the good thing about this is the content of our podcast will just be as kind of normal, us having a chat, but we're having a drink while we're doing it. We can talk about the drink as well. And in the bio and info section of this podcast, we'll put all the details about Shifty
Our first
Lizard.
issue is that we don't have a bottle opener.
Are you serious?
Give me a second.
Oh my God! When you
I
brought
didn't
it
even
in,
think of that.
Yeah, when I saw you, I thought these aren't screw tops.
They're not
Does anyone have
twisties.
a bottle opener?
Yeah.
And at home, I don't know about you. You try to be one of those legends that opens the bottle with their eye or with a cigarette lighter. I don't have one at home.
Here we go.
So actually, I can tell this story now. A couple of years ago, I went to Shanghai with the Port Footy Club. The first time I went to Shanghai, and it was it was amazing.
Ni hao.
Yeah. Oh, you can
Exactly.
say it properly now, and
You
it
can
means
say it
something.
properly. Yeah.
Was
So-
that your first time to China?
First time to China, and guys, I was just trying to have a good time. So I opened up one of the bottles of beer because where the hotel was, there was like a little supermarket next to it, so you could go and buy some alcohol there, and I did that responsibly, of course. Hold on a sec.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheers, boys. Cheers. Booze team, man.
Booze
First
team,
one.
man. First
Session
one.
ale. Oh, yeah, baby.
So, well, it's very nice.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
The beer was very cheap over in Shanghai, and
That's good. That's actually really good beer.
it is really good beer.
it's not offensive at all.
No.
Like it doesn't do, like just
Well, imagine
it's
if it
smooth.
was offensive and we
Yeah.
bagged
Well,
the shit
yeah.
out. I tell you what, mate. Fuck. So I've bought a couple of beers to have after the end of a big day, and couldn't find a bottle opener.
Yeah.
So I thought I'm going to be a real legend here,
Yeah.
and I'm going to hold the edge of the beer over the TV cabinet.
Oh,
and
no.
go bang and press it down. Did that a couple of times, and instead of the actual beer lid, the cap coming off, part of the TV cabinet came off.
Oh, shit.
So I replaced it with a bit of gum and just put the part that was missing back
Well, I
there,
think-
and I was quickly out of that hotel.
Wasn't there like a video series that was viral for a while on Facebook with a dude in China, and he was filling up things like that with noodles,
Yes.
and then making the noodles go hard, and then covering it. It looks like it was never.
Really?
Yeah, it was completely fixed just out of 2-minute noodles.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm so bad like that. Can you open a beer bottle any other way than with a bottle opener?
I have tried my eye.
You've tried. How do you do that with your eye?
What you do is you drink heaps beforehand,
Okay.
and you think you're a hero,
Right.
And then
The old drink heaps beforehand trick.
Well, 'cause,
So how do you open your beers? Well, I drink heaps of them before.
I don't think I've said this before, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself with this
Please
story.
do.
But
Don't make it a long one.
So I was at Nova on New Year's Eve.
yeah. So anyway, so I was
Just got
walking
on
down
the
Brewery
gear,
Street. It was 1996. No, Kevin and Perry Go Large was a movie based in Ibiza, 2 comedic characters, and the main DJ there was called Eyeball Paul. And what Eyeball Paul used to do is drink drinks through his eye. So what had happened, right, after seeing that movie, I was a hero because I had a few to drink, and
Yeah.
Decided that I would A, open a beer bottle with my eye, and B, whatever the list was, then drink
you've
it
had
with my
one
eye. Yeah, and it used to be like a really cool party trick because with vodka, right, it was fine. I could just drink it out,
Yeah.
But when
Yeah.
you do a beer, things get a bit yeasty, boys.
Oh, okay.
And
here we go.
The first problem was trying to open it up with my eye. And it being a bottle that's not a, what do you call it, like a twist top?
Yes.
So it was one what we needed here today, which was a bottle opener.
Thank
And
goodness
prepared
you
with-
had one. Imagine if we didn't have one. We'd just sit there looking at the beer, go, yeah, looks good.
Yeah,
Ask the
like-
guys at BTS for one.
Guys, is this behind the sex? I don't know what this is. Anyway, that's what I was saying. Okay, but yeah, when I tried to open my eye, it wasn't a twist top, so it literally cut a hole with a crinkle cut on the inside of my eye there. So that was bad. But then I did the beer, went off all right. But then, a couple of days later, wouldn't suggest doing this with the beer. Yeast infection in the eye hasn't been the same since. Has not been the same since, fellas.
You sure it was from the beer?
Yeah.
Well, it could have been from the
ex-girlfriend.
that evening. Probably was around the Miss Nude Australia sort of scenario, but anyway.
Oh, I had to judge that once.
Yeah, I did too. I'm on the. I get a text every year from my dad when it's on SBS when they do their documentary series.
That is not a normal sentence.
No, it really isn't. and it's what
How did that sound in your head?
that is what brought us together as father and son.
So you and your dad go to Miss Nude.
No. So with Miss Nude Australia, years ago, like a documentary was filmed about the ladies doing it and the events that happen and all that sort of stuff. And I'm in it. I get interviewed and I'm there judging.
The best story
ever. Yeah. So every year it's on SBS, and I guess they get good ratings out of it, or they bought it ages ago for a lot of money. So every year I get a cheeky text from old daddy, and he's like, "Hey mate," it actually sounds worse the more I talk about it, to be honest. But he's like, "Hey brother, you're on TV again tonight."
Why are you watching it, Dad? You creep.
Yeah. Is Mum with you? Yeah. Yeah, crazy times.
So you guys, when we did our last round, spoke about hangovers.
Yeah.
And I driving in here thought about one of the worst hangovers I've ever had, because I think because we are doing Booze Team Men, it's good to talk about experiences that we've had with alcohol and things like that, because a lot of our listeners, you can tell, enjoy it. Like, so one of our key listeners and members is on the plaque, Josh Miller from the the Powerhouse podcast, the electricity one. So he's got an Instagram account that looks after beer. So he does all this beer stuff on Instagram. I can't even remember what the account's called.
It's probably called Beer.
Yeah. Beer.
Beerstagram.
Beerstagram.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good.
BTS. Beer tastes sexy.
Beer the scenes.
Anyway. You probably didn't deserve that much of a laugh.
I think it was just how incredibly shit it was.
Yeah, true. So we had this, for hockey, we would have prelim final day was a big day for us when it came to the AFL. So what we do, we'd go on a house crawl for people who lived around the city. So we'd go to someone's house, for example, Andy would go to your house and have 2 beers in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Quarter time break, we would then travel to someone else's house, 2 beers. By the end of the game, we'd have like 8 beers, and we ended up going to the highway. And I got called earlier that week to fly to Sydney. This is how radio used to work, Matty.
Yeah.
I had to go over to Sydney for 2 weeks. They put me up in a hotel. The hotel was okay for 2 weeks, and I had to panel. Oh, that was not me.
That was me.
I can tell you what. Okay. Jeez, do you have some dead possum for lunch?
So I had to panel the best of
good boys.
American Rosso. So literally, I had to go to Sydney to press buttons for 2 weeks, which is unheard of now. It doesn't happen. So what I needed to do, though, on the Sunday was do a weekend shift for Nova in Sydney. And the night before, we ended up at the highway and we got pretty drunk.
Right.
So I went home. I got home at 2 a.m. and I thought, okay, what I'm going to do here is have a tactical spew, which I thought was a great idea to do that.
Yeah.
And then I had to wake up at 4 anyway to get to the airport to fly to Sydney. And, you know, if you are starting to go to sleep when the hangover starts kicking in, it's not good to go to sleep. So I woke up and had to spew.
Yeah.
Got to the airport, had to spew, and I actually fell asleep while on the toilet at the Adelaide airport and woke up to the person saying, "Jared Walsh, you need to get on the plane." Then what was probably the most awkward thing was I sat on the plane and I looked to my left, and a woman looked at me and she said, big night, mate. And I said, no, I'm just tired. You normally do that. Yeah. And I have a song in my head from a band called Friendly Fires, and they have this lyric which just repeated over in my head. So whenever I listen to that song now, it makes me feel a little bit hungover. So I had someone sitting next to me on the plane. Now, this guy, he was the father of the school teacher who was on Australian Idol once. And he was just telling me about his son, and I'm like, I don't know. No, it wasn't.
Guy Sebastian?
No, it wasn't that. It was one of after Australian Idol, I kind of went downhill.
Bardo.
It was actually John Bardo. And the whole time I was sitting on the plane, I had to go back and forth and spew. So eventually we got to Sydney. Sorry, have you got something to say?
Ricky Lee.
Yep. So we got to Sydney. And great, I need to get to the toilet because I'm horrible when I'm hungover. I need to make myself sick. So I went to the cubicle and was sick again. And then coincidentally, at the same time I stood up and got out of the cubicle, so did Bardo's dad walking out and saying, I thought something was wrong with you. It was horrible.
And I'm pregnant.
I had to go to Nova Sydney and basically vomit in between every song. It's horrible.
That is bad.
I'm not good when I get hungover, and I try to avoid that now.
Yeah, I had a good one when I think it was Christmas time, and there's no one in the station at Christmas time, and I had an on-air shift. I think I made. Oh, of course, I went out the night before. Anyway, I'm not even going to make that up. Right? That's just what happened. Going in the next morning. I reckon it was a work thing because the more I worked at Nova, the more I realised that I shouldn't be going out unless there's a reason. Say it's a work thing, work drinks, or work party or whatever.
Friday night, Friday afternoon drinks / work function.
Yeah, just head off to Bunnings and get some gear for the evening.
The best Andy Martin was he'd be sitting in his production booth and you go, mate, you going to come out for a few drinks? He's like, no, mate, I might just have one. So he's got having a drink. And you walk out and 5 minutes later, he's literally got 2 pear ciders in his mouth at once. We're on, boys. Like, what just happened in the last 5 minutes from you to go to 0 to 100?
Well, now I think about it, I've got a lot of stories for this podcast. That's probably the reason why I came up with this sort of idea. I want to get you guys together. But in regards to this particular story, Saturday morning, gone in there, it was just me and Matt Smithson doing the news when we did news locally. Yeah. And
we did anything locally.
Yeah, that's right. And so...
Sorry, I'm okay.
You're right?
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg?
Oh, thanks for not burping this time.
I tried to hold it in.
Well, I feel like a good brewer puts a bit of bubbles in there to keep it going. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Do you know what I love about this? And I think we can interrupt and talk about the drink and stuff. Sometimes craft beer tastes a bit too heavy for me, and it leaves a bit of a taste in your mouth. This doesn't
too much home brewy.
Too much.
Is that what you mean?
But
like,
this has
got some fruit.
Yes, and I reckon you can have a session on this. I know it's called session. I'm not taking the piss, but this is something you could sit down and have a good session on.
When they say session, do they mean like you can actually have a session on it, so they pull it back a bit so to make you last longer? So it's not like heavy sparkling or a stout.
I mean,
we
just here to drink the beer. We don't know.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I really like this beer.
Great. Yeah, it is good. Yeah. I mean, the next one that we're going to try after we finish this one's called the Easy Ale.
Okay.
What do you reckon the difference is before you try it?
Might be a bit easier to drink.
Fair call.
Okay, so it's Christmas.
So it's Christmas.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, and I'm doing my shift. I was nailing it, doing all the crazy
nailing it.
all the crazy awesome segues, Santa would love that. Speaking of Santa, here's Guy Sebastian. Like all that sort of stuff. And, Matty will be doing his news. So the way the studios are set up is all glass windows so you can see each other. Matty has a little news booth. I was in the studio. We can see each other and communicate when things are happening. So he's done his news at the top of our, cross over to me to do my top of hour, which is like, a quick intro about what's going on for the next hour, keep you hooked sort of thing. And so I've done that. Turned the mics off, gone to the bin next to me and spewed my guts out. And that happened all morning. It was amazing. And and it was just like, there was just so much respect between the two of us because he would watch me do my thing, nail it, like I said, and then just puke to my left. Yeah.
That's the thing we spoke about, when I was saying a couple of weeks ago that no matter what's going on in your life, you have to just put the mic on and go, cool. No one gives a shit if you're hungover or sad or anything because they're going, it's your job to make me feel better.
Yeah.
Well, this is sad, but I got told halfway through a shift my grandpa had died. So then I had to do the whole shift, still happy as ever, saying that Guy Sebastian's up next with that going on. But also the greatest shift I ever did. It was like the Tuesday, I think you had the afternoon off because you were hosting the Arkabar or whatever for your Melbourne Cup or Adelaide Cup or whatever. And then I had to do the shift, right? So I would also have to do production, so I would pre-record half the shift and then go in for the live crossover to the race to play on air, and then I'd do the last half an hour live.
Yeah.
And there was a few prizing to give away there in that half an hour. So we had a Melbourne Cup function in the office, so they get their little fences out in the grass and everyone's dressed like they're a jockey.
It's
and
a culture thing. It's like, hey, let's do things. It's great to work here.
Yeah. We know that we treat you like shit, but this makes it even better. It's essentially we're putting icing on a poop.
What is funny about that though, because it all started off by going, we're going to provide lunch, and it was awesome, like a full spread buffet. Then it turned out we're going to provide lunch. We've got 3 Sunta rolls you can share between the 20 of you,
and all 3 you have to share. So I've gotten merry because I was like, I can DJ pretty hammered. I can be on air as well, right?
Yeah.
The station's only worth a couple of million or whatever it is. Drive that truck. So
don't say drive that truck to me because I crashed that truck.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you did too. That's coming up next on Boosty Man. So I've gone back in there at 2:30. Did the crossover to the race. All sweet. Come back out of it. Play a few songs. Then give away a few tracks. And that half an hour was probably the best half an hour I've ever done on radio.
Yeah.
So there you go.
There you go. I reckon one of my
Drink
worst,
responsibly.
one of my worst hangovers was, you know how you've got that friend that either lives interstate or you don't see very often, but you know that every time you're going to go see them, you're going to kick the ass out of it with them.
Oh, yeah.
You just know.
Yeah.
So I went over to Melbourne. Good mate of mine lives over there, and it was a Friday night, and we went real hard. Like I'm talking carton of UDLs, tequila shots, the lot. We bar hopped all night.
Because no one knows who you are interstate, so you can just do whatever you want, don't you? Like, I'm not saying that offensively. I'm saying you have that feeling to go, I'm in a different state.
Yeah.
No one cares what I'm wearing.
That's
No
right.
one cares
You're not
what I'm
going to see them again.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. So we went large, like real large. And I'd already committed to go to the Australian Open with another friend the next day. And of course, Australian Open January.
It's tennis.
It's fucking hot.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, my face said otherwise, didn't it? It's like, oh, yeah.
You're like, Australia's Open?
Yeah. What? Is that a strip joint? It's like off the side of Adelaide Zoo. Anyway.
So I'm on the back of a massive night, and I had to catch a train from where my mate was, where we were Friday night, to his house into where the tennis was.
Just because I haven't been to the tennis, like Australian Opens, people that go there fucking love it.
Yeah.
And it's a whole day thing, right?
It is.
It's not like you go there for one game and then you head off.
No, that's right. So you buy a day pass, there's bands, there's,
It's like the back of the Adelaide Oval members every day.
Yeah,
I've never been, but that's how it looks like. It's like a party. The tennis is almost secondary.
It is.
Yeah,
It is. Yeah, people don't actually watch.
Yeah, like when we would have the Clipsal weekends.
That's it.
That's right.
It,
So I'm on this train, and there's families everywhere going to the tennis.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, and it's 40 degrees, and I'm getting hungover, and I'm starting to feel a little bit
the movement?
sick, the movement.
Yeah.
And I had to get off at a station, like Caulfield Station or something like that.
And also walk off the train.
That's right.
Yep.
What is that guy doing at Caulfield?
Yeah.
Wow, that's weird in the corner there.
Having a great must love train.
He's on his way to this train open.
Yeah, who wants milk with their coffee? All right, here we go. Move on.
This is Booze Team Man, by the way. And I had to get off the train to vom. And it was like a scene of a movie where you stick your head in a bin. Yeah. And I stuck my head in a bin and I was vomiting and there's families walking past
me. Were you thinking, though, as that was happening, this is perfect? Like,
Yes.
I've timed it perfectly. Because that could have happened on the train. It could have happened as you walked out.
I was holding on to it for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was... You know, when you sort of, I don't catch trains that often, but you know, when you feel it starting to pull up and you know you're not too far, I was like, I could be safe
That's
here.
amazing how the body works, though, isn't it? Because apart from those really extreme cases, if you're in a cab or in a place where you know you can't, like, get fluid out of either end of your body, once your mind knows you're at a place where it can happen, that's when it happens.
Yeah.
It's like everything kind of stays down. You know, if you need to vom, whether it's like through gastro or anything, and you need to get to the toilet, your body won't let you do it until you know that you're at a place where you can do it.
Yeah. Oh, I've let go a couple of times.
I've actually shat myself now.
I have vomited in the back of a cab before.
So did you have to pay?
No, because funnily enough, same mate that I was with,
Great.
completely different time, he was all over it and decided to turn the radio up.
Oh, really?
He was in the front
he was
seat.
the front seat.
Yeah, he was front seat. So he's turned the radio going, I love this song. And I'm in the back, hoofing up.
That's right there. That right there is a great mate.
That is a good mate.
Yeah.
Hey, I was just thinking while we're talking about this, I think if you're listening to this Booze Team Man, we're drinking Shifty Lizard at the moment. So what we'll do is we'll speak to the people who provide the booze each week, and we can say, like, we'll speak to Lee and go maybe because we usually get a voucher to give away each best team man. If you share this podcast or you give us a review or a rating, if you want to podvertise or anything like that, then we will give away whether it is a 6-pack or a bottle of the drink that we're having each round as well to one of the listeners. I reckon that's a great way to
absolutely
to share that. And I'm ready for the second one.
We'll open the second one.
Yeah,
so we've just gone through the session ale, which was
really
actually really nice, delightful.
Yeah. Fruity. Yeah, I think I didn't realise the fruitiness of it until maybe 3/4 way through the bottle.
So on the bottle it actually said every lizard gets thirsty. So we have put some session ale flavours and tropical aromas together.
Oh, cheap.
Oh, wow. I'll buy that bottle. Imagine being the lizard at Shifty Lizard. How amazing would your life be?
Yeah.
Like, you'd be treated like a
Just
god.
be loving
Yeah.
it. Exactly. Yeah, so we'll try this in the same episode as well, I reckon, Andy. We'll just do today Shifty Lizard. So Con and Lena at Brighton Trophy Centre.
Run us through that.
Yeah, so they have been supporters of Best Team Men since day dot. Like, and Matt, you and I have been lucky enough to meet Con and Lena, and his mum has met Con.
It's weird because I still haven't met Con, but my mum has.
No. Do you know, I was talking to Lee actually about his encounter with Con.
Yeah.
And he said when he dropped when he delivered his carton to Con,
Cheers, boys. Yeah.
he said he walked in, Con gave him a big hug, and then Lee was like, "This bloke is the nicest guy in the world."
He is, man.
Yeah.
He is. And so we messaged Con during the week because we thought, we need to get some artwork for this podcast. And what we want to do is actually drink out of some personalised cups, which we're prepared to pay for all of it. We said
Absolutely,
to Con, we want
for
to do it because Con listens to us. Con promotes us as much as we promote Con, like
That's
on
right.
the thing outside of it. So
Yeah.
Con and Lena have then gone, and we've also got a T-shirt that says Con and Lena, which we can talk about the merchandise in a sec. But they've just said, "Hey, are you happy with the name Booze Team Men?" Yep. And then we see a photo of a beer. I think it's a pint glass.
Yep.
And a wine glass, and I sent it to you boys, and that's amazing.
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
he followed up with another one saying, "Yeah, not sure what else you're having." So there was a shot glass and then a spirit glass as well. So
And a wine glass.
yeah, so
Yeah.
we've all got personalised stuff. What we want to do is get Con in here. I will go down to. We need to do that. We keep saying we're going to do it, but we'll find a time over the next couple of weeks to actually go sit down with Con, have a drink with him. Whether it's
Yeah.
at the pub opposite, is it the Brighton Hotel that's opposite?
Yeah, the Brighton Metro.
The old Charlie's.
Yeah.
Yeah, Charlie's
Is it
Diner.
still Charlie's?
Well, not now. No buffets with COVID.
Oh, it's just Charlie's.
It's just Charlie's, yeah. So
no
we'll
diner.
go. We'll go to. We'll have a drink with him, but that's amazing. So Con and Lena, you are definitely part of this as well.
100%.
And next round we are going to open up some Tomich wine from Jamie Manson. So thank you very much. This is nice. This is different. The Easy Ale.
Yes.
I think I tried this when I went up to Shifty Lizard in Wollonga.
When
a
you
while
thought
ago.
you spoke to Lee, but you didn't.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
that happened. Yeah.
And you had a tasting, what do they call them? Pallet.
The paddle, the paddle.
A pallet.
Well,
you know,
yeah,
geez,
I mean,
you'd
I
be
didn't
pissed
have
if
a
you drank
pallet,
a
yeah.
pallet
When
of
we
beer.
go down there, we're getting a tasting pallet, boys.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be good to have a bit of a road trip with the guys. My wife can drive if you want because she's pregnant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pick me
Yeah.
up on the way home.
I watched
Wait,
the movie.
Jared's wife, or you mean?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Do you mean the car?
The car can
Okay,
pick me
so-
up from home on
I mean,
the
you're
way.
a good-looking
Oh,
guy,
you
so I didn't
sure?
know if you know what
Because-
you're meaning.
I mean,
Well, we are friends on Facebook.
I know that. Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
But who friended who?
I think I friended her.
Oh, you've got
Yeah.
think.
And
I
then
can't
she
remember.
said
Alright.
Fanta or something.
Yeah, she did. She said she enjoyed Fanta. No, she did.
That's awesome.
She legitimately said that she enjoyed Fanta and she didn't know why I was coughing the stick that I was coughing. So
Yeah, no, fair call.
She
Yeah, I
still
think
hasn't
so.
listened to the last couple of podcasts, which is kind of a good thing.
She bought the T-shirt yet?
No, I'm buying
came.
the great tweet, Matt. So talk about the merchandise, please. This is
Yeah.
a great time to talk about
So the
it.
great thing with the merchandise, obviously, it supports the podcast, right? Because we want to invest.
Support to
back.
Matt's multi.
It really does. The
Fucking
loss
hell.
that we go through every week, we need to pay that back, of course. But yeah, there's lots of merchandise available, and the great thing about this merchandise is not just the merchandise that says "Best Team Men." You know,
Yeah.
it's about being part of our culture, our little crew. Like
Yeah.
we're a club that invites everyone in.
it's almost a
And
community, isn't it?
It really
I
is
think
a
so,
community.
yeah.
And especially like Con and Lena have really brought this community together. Like
Correct.
They've started it and will help continue it. So things that happen in the show, we can convert into merchandise and celebrate, like Maddie loving Fanta.
Yeah.
Me stuffing up Con and Lena's name on saying
Con and
Con and
Lena.
Lena.
You've got the T-shirt. Go on the socials to have a look at
That's
that,
the
yeah.
most sold T-shirt on the shop.
What, one?
No, I think it's like 15 or something like that.
Hey,
That's amazing.
That is
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I rate that.
I mean, we've made $4 because I take my cut.
Totally fine. I understand that. Well, I mean, you are the star of the show. according to everyone.
Well, thank you, Jamie, for that one. Anyway, so head to shop.ozcastnetwork.com or just the SEO is fantastic at the moment, so you can just look up Best Team Men merch.
What's
It'll come
SEO?
through. Search engine optimization.
Oh, yeah,
So
cool.
it's when you search stuff in Google.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you said the money goes back into the podcast, which is exactly what we want to do.
Yeah.
We're not doing this to make any money off it, but the podcast and giving back to Ozcast.
Until your payout runs out.
That's exactly right. So for the next couple of weeks. But putting back into Ozcast, that is letting us use the studio, but also giving back. And once we win a multi and we pay off the debt we have to Matt, we'll be able to go and say, hey, let's put some money behind a bar so we can have a drink. And whether it is at Shifty Lizard or not. We got to meet Jamie the other day. I've met him twice now. We want to be a part of this because you're making the choice to listen to this podcast.
Absolutely. And like that's the whole reason why Ozcast sort of started about. We just help people.
Yeah.
So making a big community of people that are passionate about
you help
something.
some people more than others, like Garby and Jake Barkadesh, but that's totally fine.
Well, I mean, like, they are great people with big wallets.
Yeah, that's very true.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Just quickly, this label is unreal. Like it's scaly.
No, you like it because it's the colour of Fanta.
Yeah. It's scaly like a lizard.
You know what's scary? Is I'm sure the lizard might have. Is he missing a tail or two?
You didn't look that far.
Yeah, now with 4% lizard on the label. But yeah, they've actually gone right down to the detail of it feeling like lizard skin. It does.
Yeah, it is very good.
Wow.
I watched a movie yesterday. I'm trying to just have a bit of downtime, and and I've never seen this before.
Just heaps of depressing movies then to bring you down.
Well,
Battle of Bosworth.
No, don't talk about the war, the Burnt War. So I watched A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Right.
I loved it.
Is that the guy from
Is that Adam
Family Guy?
Sandler?
No, Seth MacFarlane.
Oh, no one. Okay, yeah. Sorry.
I loved it.
It's good.
It was amazing, and they've got heaps of big names in it.
That's
Seth
right.
MacFarlane's in it. Liam Neeson, Neil Patrick Harris, Charlize Theron's in it, and she's like, you feel a bit rude to say, like, you fall in love with her in that movie. It's so funny. If you like Family Guy and if you like a bit of that humour, it's very funny. It's very funny.
It's one of those movies that don't make you think too hard. It takes you away from anything that's ever happened to you. You know, like gets you into a happy place.
Yeah, it's really good.
We, my wife and I come to a compromise that we're just watching movies she picks now. Because
that's why you come in.
That's right. That's why I live here now. No, so her reasoning is I watch a lot of footy with you, and I watch this and I watch that.
What do you
with
have to watch?
What do we watch? How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Oh, God. So we watched that the other night. Sorry, we watched half of it.
Matthew McConaughey's in that, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
and
good
Kate Hudson.
good looking bloke.
Yeah, but he's got fake hair.
Good on him.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry.
And the other day we watched White Chicks, which I'd never seen before either.
Yeah, I haven't
Can't
seen
say that now.
What do you say?
Well, because they're all white faced.
You say?
It's just a bit touchy these days, isn't it?
Chicks.
Yeah, it's just good chicks. Yeah, the other day I watched Chicks with the Wayans brothers. That was good.
That is a classic movie, I got to admit. Like,
I'd never seen it. So there's a lot of movies like that I haven't seen that she keeps telling me I need to watch. And now we're in a spot in our marriage where she just makes me watch them with her.
So do you have, because I know with Yaz, I know the types of movies that she would like. So like comedy-based ones. Pretty much anything along the lines of Step Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
You know, with Will Ferrell.
those ones.
Well, the amazing thing is, so the cinema that you introduced me to and I ended up working for years.
Oh, yeah.
Odeon?
I don't want to God damn it.
Oh, you can't say that.
No. Well, I can't say my story now because now everyone knows.
Just beep that out.
Yeah, basically for, I think it was her birthday.
Yeah.
They gave us a whole cinema and put on Step Brothers just for us.
Oh, that's cool.
But there was a 2-minute montage at the beginning of photos of me and her. So she thought that it was actually going to be where I proposed to her. Like that's how invested that business was in me, and which I fucking loved. But it was the most awkward thing ever because I looked at her and she looked at me. I'm like, I guess the movie's going to start in a sec.
You were just sitting there with the popcorn.
Yeah. And all I had in my head is that song with Justin Timberlake, Dick in a Box. I got a dick in my box. And because what happens between sort of previews or that bit of production before the start of the movie, there's around about 30 seconds of sort of nothing while the machine...
She thought that was your window.
Yeah, that was my window. Yeah, but it was not. And things were very awkward. I was like, you want some popcorn? Or a large Coke? No, I said Coke. But the movie was awesome. And thank you to the guys there. Yeah, so
You have
in
my
regards to-
daughter to thank for that job because Rain was bored.
Yes.
That's why.
So what happened, right?
Hey.
Jared was supposed to host Event TV for the
Some movie launch or something. Or,
yeah. Well, it was the first big thing of G Filmhouse opening up here in Adelaide.
Yeah.
Right.
And Jared was supposed to host it,
Yeah.
but he couldn't because
My daughter was born on that day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had to go,
You had to make a very important decision.
yeah, which I regret.
about the daughter or not getting the gig.
I'd prefer not to say on this podcast.
Rain's fantastic.
What was Cosy doing that day?
I think he was eating a vanilla slice out of Bordertown, wasn't he? He loves a good vanilla slice.
No, he does, yeah.
Yeah.
And he loves Bordertown.
Hanging out
He
with
does.
the Cornses.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, well, I mean,
All
not
right.
in the last 6 months. Anyway.
Your Honour. Yep.
I'm after
Oh,
this.
really? Is that what happened? Oh, okay. I'm oblivious to it. Anyway, yeah. So what happened is I went along and did the gig, and turns out I got along with a few people there in management.
boring you,
and
mate?
then all of a sudden, I was hosting heaps of stuff, and here we are.
Isn't it?
Discuss.
Sometimes that happens, doesn't it? Like you get in to a gig or something like that because of someone sick or someone
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
do it, and then all of a sudden you do really well. You get along with the people, and
I've got a gig like that today.
Have you? What are you doing?
I have to do a season launch for a business in Melbourne via Zoom, but
Right.
because
So no one is there.
no one's there, so
Okay.
I'm doing it via Zoom.
Yep.
But because someone has pulled out, I've got to go. I'm going to do that.
right.
So it's a bizarre circumstance. Like I'm going to be in my. Sorry.
hey, that's what it's all about. That was on me.
Colour mates,
Yeah.
Where's the colour mates hanging out, having a few drinks?
Imagine me.
And-
G'day guys, how you going? The other person. Yeah. So I think I'm glad you got that gig. All right, so boys, what do you like better? I think I like this one more than the
You like that
session.
one?
Yeah, I like the easy hour better.
You know what? I reckon the way we did it was probably the way I would do it. So if I had a couple of cartons of the session ale, I would kick off with that.
Start with that.
Yeah, I'd start with it because a bit of fruity.
Yep.
And then I would this is, I'm not telling you what to do here. This is just what I'd probably do, you know?
And you have experience.
What happened to your
Shifty
finger?
So there was this goat. No.
I don't really care.
Back to the beer.
You can check out the video on OnlyFans.
Checks in the mail.
Yeah, that's it.
Digits in what?
No.
In the midget. Yes. I was just thinking of something to rhyme. Why are you guys away from your microphones? This is weird. I'm all by myself. Hey guys, how you going? This is Boost Team Men.
Oh, fucking hell.
So I would kick off with the session ale because,
Yeah.
you know, light and fruity.
It gets you in the mood.
It really,
Yeah.
oh fuck! It kickstarts you, buddy. And then,
Hang on, Willie.
Lee at Shifty Lizard could actually confirm this for us, but I believe the easy out is slightly heavier than the session out. I'm not too sure.
I would have said the session hour's heavier.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. But can we all agree that we're not beer professionals, right?
No,
not by
Okay,
any stretch.
So let's put the shout out to whoever is a solid beer drinker.
Yeah.
So if it's Josh at the Electrical Podcast with his Instagram account, which I don't know what it is. Tell us what we need to look for.
That's the trifecta. We've all, yeah.
Sorry, guys.
when I have a glass of wine, I'm at a point where I identify. It's like when you start drinking coffee, you can determine what's a good coffee and what's a shit coffee, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So with beer, I want to know what I want to try and taste. So Josh, if you are, and he will be listening because he doesn't do anything else. No, he does.
There's a Sparky.
He's a bright spark.
That's a wires.
So,
Stuff.
so just tell us what we need to listen out for and try and taste. And you as well, Josh, can you please recommend some stuff for us to try? Because every weekend he's like, hey, look at this can. It's different. Like it's ridiculous.
So he's a bit of a connoisseur.
Yeah, okay.
Is that the right word?
Just like boutique sort of stuff?
Yeah,
Is it
or
just
boutique as well, yeah.
Well, depending on
he's
what country you come from.
So he's not
Potato.
So he's not holding up a VB going, yeah, you got to get in one of these.
Unsure. Yeah. I don't
He's
think
a red
so.
titty. Yeah,
But
boy.
he would have had Shifty Lizard before, and I know that a lot of our listeners would have because we've been promoting it. So if you tell us what you think about it as well, and please share this podcast. I think we've gone downhill we've had 1.5 beers, and
well,
I think
I'm
it's
nearly at
affected.
2.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the whole the whole
point of
bonus
it.
bit of this podcast, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a bit looser. It's not, we don't want it to be as structured.
Well, wasn't it?
This has affected you the most, I reckon.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I have drank them quick.
At the start, you're like, "G'day, guys." Well, and if you go back and listen, you'll be like, "Yeah, no, you want to drink it."
It was you want to get it was. But my genuine drunk voice will never be as good as Andy's.
True.
It was a head down at Happy Valley and go redo the What's My Age Again music clip. You know what I'm saying, Loz?
I like your drunk voice. You go, "G'day, guys. Who wants to party?"
Yeah, I know, right? I listened back to that. I was like, that was an amazing voice. That was a really amazing voice. If you want to book me, you can through the Oscars.
All right, so going back,
That just wraps you up.
All right, mate. Thank you. All right, let's head over. All right, next caller.
this is going to be fun. All right, so session ale, we're definitely recommending that.
I like both of them.
Yeah.
I reckon they're both really, really good.
Yeah.
But I reckon Andy's right. I reckon you start on the session ale, and then you go back to the easy one.
Yeah. Well, because you want to make your night long.
That's
and
right.
Party hard. You know what I'm saying?
Party.
I don't know if I agree with you.
No, you'd start on the easy ale.
I think the easy ale is a lot easier to drink.
right.
I don't know. It's a tough one.
They're both good.
They're both very good.
Very good. Not saying this because of any other reason than that I like them, but I would choose to drink these over a commercial brand beer.
Great,
Absolutely,
great
yeah.
cover. Yeah,
Yeah,
because you were
thank you.
about to name a specific brand.
No, I wasn't. I was trying to come up with a similar
Bing Tang.
Geelong draft.
Geelong Giraffe.
All right, I'm going to
Carton
go.
for $9.
I'm going to go host this corporate function.
All right, jump on Zoom, everyone, and check out Jared.
Massive thanks to Shifty Lizard for providing the beers. Very much appreciated. And we will get Lee on, whether we head down there or he comes here, but that will happen.
Yeah, and Con and Lena from Brighton Trophy Centre for providing the stuff that we drink out of.
Oh. Was that your beer voice?
That was good.
Do the Metropolitan Plumbing.
We've got stories about that we can only tell off air. See ya.
Oscast.
Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Oscast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.